Properties, default, USB audio device. All right, can you guys hear me now? Properties. Okay, something's moving. We hear Mike. All right. Can you hear this? Can you hear the music? How does that sound? Testing, testing. Did you hear the music? Okay. You know, every once in a while, OBS just likes to crap out and change audio settings for no apparent reason. But yeah, welcome everybody. It's been a fun minute, but it is 4 o'clock and change on Tuesday in the Eastern, so that means it's time for the Monster Maverick Show. Our discussion about all things. Great way to start. All things Splinterlands, markets, updates, all the rest of it. So yeah, that's always fun when you have technical problems right out of the gate. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so Ron is our producer extraordinaire. He always tests audio before the show. I haven't had a problem in like 2 months, but you know, I got to give Ag a run for his money in the worst DJ competition. But he's still winning, so that's okay. OBS likes to reconfigure audio at random. See, I'm learning these things because you know I'm fairly new to the whole OBS thing. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. But anyway, it's been an interesting little while in the past week in Splinterlands. Worst. Yeah, so a couple of housekeeping things just to get out of the way. The you know, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the Discord bot here. Apparently, there's no worst command, but there is a next command where you can see the next show coming up. That's if the bot's working, and you know you can register for different shows and all that kind of stuff. So this week, unlike the last 2 weeks, we actually have Scaredy Cat coming up afterwards. He's been traveling for a couple of weeks, but now he's back, and he'll have his Scaredy Cat investment show coming up at the hour, so at 5 o'clock Eastern. And you know, also just a reminder, you can watch us on mspwaves.com. You can watch us on 3Speak. You can watch us on Theta. What's the other one? Vim. And then, you know, there's also the replays, which are on YouTube and in podcasts on Spotify. We're on the Google Podcast Store now, Podcast Network, whatever it's called, Anchor. So, you know, plenty of ways to get the lowdown on the weekly Splinterlands juice. So that's all the housekeeping stuff, and you know, we're doing okay. So everything's working, except for the Discord bot apparently. But yeah, let's check it out. So couple different things that has happened in the past week. So number one is new rewards cards and collection power update. That's this guy. Now let me switch my stream here. So for those who do watch the recording or are watching the live stream, you can actually see what I'm looking at. And basically, you know, we got two new rewards cards right out the gate, and they're both legendaries, and that's because you know we had the discrepancy in legendary claims on rewards cards and the rest because of potions that were automatically being used up for rewards cards and are no longer being used up for rewards cards. So we got the fillers for the two that went off the list, which was what was it? Let's see, Zalran and Kraken. Yes. So those two legendaries expired, and now we have the Lich, the Ancient Lich, which is a dragon tank, or no, sorry, dragon. Resurrector and Void and such. And then we have the Robo Dragon Knight. This is the dragon tank, which is nice. I mean, it's very expensive mana-wise, obviously. We got 11 mana. But, for those high mana matches, I think he's probably going to do better than, the old Chromatic Dragon or anything like that. So, it's exciting to get some refreshers on dragons. It's been a while since we've had anything added there. But, the Lich, he's got, at max level, he's got 6 health, no shields, or no armor, sorry. It's got 1 speed, so he's good for the slow matches. He's got 3 magic attack all throughout. And then he's got Life Leech, Void, and Resurrect at the high levels. So that is actually not bad. So, it's good to have the slow Resurrect just so that, somebody, the other cards go first, and then if something dies, you can Resurrect then, rather than waiting to the next turn. The Life Leech, is probably going to be a back of the line sort of thing. So with magic attack and void, he'll probably have a net positive leeching. So even if there is a magic reflect. So I imagine that health getting up pretty high in those Dragon Match games. On the Robo Dragon Knight, at max level, he's got 5 melee attack, 3 speed, 8 armor, 10 health, void, divine shield, piercing, return fire, and magic reflect. So that is quite a lot, and that's why it's 11 mana, because all things being equal, the mana is the total point value of the card. So having 11 mana on a legendary is basically as high as we can get. So I expect to see a lot of the Robo Dragon Knight. And if you look on the market, you can see already. Oh, it's a Death Lich? It's not a dragon? Ah. Oh yeah, you're right. Sometimes, my colorblindness, it gets to me. But, let's see what our Legendaries are doing just on the regulars. So you can see that Robo Dragon Knight is already at the top of the heap for reward legendaries. This is the bottom of the heap. So Ancient Lich is doing okay. Ahead of Bila, ahead of Grog, even Kraken, which is out of print now. Lich is doing better. So speed doesn't matter when resurrecting. Is that right? I guess that is right. Now that I think about it. That's right. The speed matters on heals, on tank heal. But whatever the case, so the market likes them, especially the Robo Dragon Knight, obviously. Now, what tends to happen with all the new cards, whether it's rewards cards or promo editions or whatever, then the prices tend to start high because of limited supply, then come down. So don't expect the Robo Dragon Knight to stay high forever, but it'll have a bit of a window here if you have some and are looking to sell. And if you want to buy, it might be better off just to wait a little bit. But those are the new rewards cards. More importantly, for this particular post is Collection Power Phase 2. So what they've done is they have released the initial threshold requirements for collection powers for the different tiers and different leagues, which is kind of a critical thing. So basically, very little to start. Bronze 3 is actually 0. Bronze 2 is 1,000. Collection power, which is of course pretty much equivalent to the burn value of your deck, and then it goes up from there. So, I was taking a look at my accounts that I'm playing on deck 404, which we might start to open up a little bit here, because now that we have these numbers. So, a bunch of my accounts are, that are what I consider silver level accounts that have, level 5 commons, level 4 rares, 3 epics, 2 legendaries. A lot of them are hovering around the 40 to 65,000 range, and that would put them in the silver 2 kind of range. So I might want to bump those up a little bit to 70,000 at least, just so I can get it to silver 1. And that's accomplished pretty easily by delegating a gold card or 2 or maybe 3. But you know it's important, if you are playing a whole lot of decks one way or the other, it's important to take a look at these, because going September 1st is when they're planning to implement this, which is at the end of this upcoming season. So the distribution of rewards is going to change dramatically, because at least for now, the rewards levels aren't changing. They will change in the future once they have a better handle on everything. But if you want to get that, if you're near one of those breakpoints, like golds are 100,000, and then diamonds is 250, and then champion is 500. So, and then from champion 1, 2, 3, it's all the same, which is kind of interesting. So, the accounts that I have that use gold accounts they use gold foil cards, are way above any of these requirements. So I'm looking at one that it has 4 splinters, and it's got gold level 5, so like silver level golds, silver league level gold foils, and they're at like 688,000 for a collection power. So those are well and above where they can maximize their rewards. And some of my max level regular foils are at like the 800,000, 900,000 million kind of collection power. So those are well and above again. So if you are running multiple decks, which a lot of people do, it might be time to look at those and rebalance the ones that are near those breakpoints. So the question becomes, what is going to happen? So we have all these like very low level kind of accounts that are either level 1s across the board, or they have 1 splinter and level 1s on the rest, and are able under the current system to get up into the diamond and champion leagues and get those higher level rewards. So if it's a matter of 500,000, that would be basically, if you rented 3 gold foil legendaries, either alpha or promos, then that'd do it, right? So the question is, how many of those accounts are going to be renting those cards, or whatever master account, buying cards and then delegating? Are they going to be competing in those higher leagues anyway? So if they do, the their ROI will go down a bit, but not hugely, because it's not that expensive to rent gold foil legendaries, because nobody else rents them. So I mean, if we look at let's say alpha gold legendaries, so like Lord of Darkness, yeah. So here's just the first one. Let's look at, we got one either 1.5 cents per day or 15 cents per day. Either way, it's cheap. So you need 3 of those to get a level 1 kind of account up into champion 3. Then that's not a big deal. The ROI is still there for the farming. So at least for now, right? So that will create a check promo. All right, I'll check promo. So here's Lord of Fire. Lord of Fire, it's a little bit more expensive. 15 and 50 cents. And what's an unpopular one? Let's try Red Dragon. 20 cents a day. There's one that's for 2 cents a day. Let's see, if we look at Minotaur Warlord, what we got? Oh, there's only one available. So the point is, this is doable, right? So we'll have to kind of wait and see to see how many of those accounts do take advantage of the cheap golds and cheap rentals available, and bump up their accounts to the higher leagues and to get those higher level rewards. Uh, so I'm kind of curious. One thing I don't know is, like, so if you have the collection power, and do you start off in Champion 3, let's say, if you have 500,000, or do you have to still battle your way up? I'm not exactly clear on that. We'll find out in a couple of weeks. But if you start there, then it's just play one battle and you're done. So yeah, Gerber says 150,000 collection power for 15 cents. That's right. That's not a lot of money. Um, Ideally there will be obviously a marketplace effect, and those rents will go up to some kind of to reduce that arbitrage. Um, but it's a wait and see at the moment. So my idea the for the post collection power rankings is that so one the rewards within each tier, so like bronze 1, bronze 2, bronze 3, those are all different tiers within the bronze league. Each different tier will have its own uh, uh, distribution of rewards. So at the top, you get max amount of rewards for that tier, and then it graduates downward for the rest of the players. But that's combined with the fact that the ELO modified ELO ranking system is just not working. So what I would do instead is actually just basically operate it as a 2 week tournament where um, you know you have an overall win loss, and the tie breaking calculations come into effect that try to measure the basically strength of your schedule there. So that would mitigate the kind of rewards for just playing lots of games, and instead it would shift more emphasis to beating better people. And if we do that, then I think we have a lot more flexibility, because at that point, your level 1 account, even if it has the 3 gold gold foil rentals to get into that champion league, won't be able to place well within that 2 week tournament, so they won't get a whole lot of rewards. And I think that's a much sounder way. And Gerber's saying that he thinks also average Dark Energy Crystal rewards per game can go up in higher leagues, and that's certainly a possibility. So by restructuring everything as a 2 week tournament for the season, then having those graduated rewards within that tournament structure, then I think it makes a lot more sense. And let's say you're in Champion 3 or Diamond 3 or whatever, and you reach the top. It's like, well, do you want to move forward to the next league, assuming you have the collection power, or do you want to stay where you are at the top of your heap? Because you'd be starting at the bottom of any particular new league. So I think that would work a lot better. Obviously, I have not done all the math behind that because it would all depend on how the rewards are distributed. So I think it could be structured so that it makes a lot more sense to compete strongly in the league that you have the cards for, rather than just trying to get to the highest league. So uh, yeah, that's my suggestion anyway. But we'll see how it all shakes out. We said September 1st, which is what, 2 weeks away right now, a little bit less maybe. Then we are going to get the minimum collection powers, and I've got to I've got to distribute some more cards around, because like I've got one account that has 1 million collection power and another account that has 5,000. So I need to distribute those more evenly to see uh, my maximum efficiency. And a year ago, when I was doing lots of rental accounts, I was still seeing maximum returns in the silver leagues rather than gold or diamond, and I expect that to still be true. And that was when before we had this whole issue with the inflation and the accounts getting into champion. So I think we'll go back to that kind of system where we're still that sweet spot of cost of cards versus rewards. But we'll have to see how it all shakes out and what those more farming type accounts do in response. Um, but I'm optimistic that it's going to work out decently well. So still, I think it'd be better with a 2 week tournament rather than a numerical ranking system or an ELO ranking system. So we got that. A fun little thing that came in was they're doing a little promo here, which is always good to see. So there's some new game called Piggeryx. Has anyone in the audience played this? I have not. But they've started their game and doing a little Splinterlands promotion. So if you buy some packs, 10 to 24 packs, you get a level 1 something, a promo code for a piggy pair. If you buy up to 100, you get level 3 piggy pair, and if you buy over 100, you get a piggy family, level 4. So, I'm always all for, more games on blockchain, and hopefully this will be a fun little addition to the family that is, Splinterlands and D-City and Crypto Brewmaster and all the rest of them. So if anybody has played this game at all, let me know in chat how it is, if it's any fun. Because, although I don't have any time, it might be it might be fun to check out. So Paco Limited has some piggies for sale. All right, so I don't know anything about the game, like I said. So I don't know what the premise is or anything, but I'll probably check it out in a little bit. Ron's asking who makes it. I don't know. Let's just go to Piggeryx, Piggeryx.com, and see what the story is. And Monster Maverick. Oops. Okay, so Yasik has played 2 battles, tossed the pigs, bank. I don't even understand what that is supposed to do. So Piggeryx is a game played with piggies. Collect pigs with the best attributes in your piggery and get rewards for skillful use of piggies in games with other players. Pigs get experience when they win. More experience leads to higher levels. More wins leads to better attributes. Okay, so that doesn't really tell me how to play or anything, but okay. Well, I'll check it out a bit later, and we'll see how it goes. So I came across a fun tweet a couple days ago. So it's from DAP Radar, and they posted the share of blockchain games' daily activity split by blockchain. And this is the picture there. So does anybody notice anything interesting about this chart? We've got Wax, we've got Tron, we've got EOS, we've got Ethereum, we've got Steam, and Hive. So so Biz is ugly is upset that they're ugly pigs and not cute cats, but Biz wants everything to be cats. So EOS has the largest market share with around 40%, and 30% is Hive. So what I find the most fascinating about this chart, though, is that little step function that you see right between the M and the J on the right-hand side of that axis. So that step function is June 1st or July 1st, whatever it was, when Splinterlands switched from Steam to Hive, and basically all the Steam activity just got obliterated, and the Hive activity just took its entire place. So, once again showing that Splinterlands is the number one, the number one app, but also the number one gaming app. The total adds up to 100%. Scaredy cat. That's how that works. It's a stack chart. So Ethereum has had its market share, slaughtered by mostly by EOS, but partially by Hive as well. And I'm not even sure what games are still running on Steam. Maybe Next Colony. Um, I'm not sure, but yeah. So Steam slash Hive is one game wonder. Yeah, a little bit of that. We do have D City. We've got other games, but Splinterlands is by far the largest chunk of that. And Biz likes things more than just cats. We've got foxes and koalas and dogs and otters and whatever. But okay. Uh, so I just found this chart really interesting. So EOS. If we go to DAP Radar, we can see that we can see it's not a dumb layout. It's a stacked chart. We go to the rankings, which I haven't checked out in a while. If we go to games, so we got Prospectors. Oh, Drug Wars is still on Steam. That's interesting. I know they left and they came back, left, but I guess they're back on Steam. We got some games on Thundercore, which I've never heard of. A couple games on Tron, Wax Tycoon, and not a whole lot on EOS actually. The biggest one is Prospectors, and that's also on Wax. So let's see. I think they might be playing games with their chart here, because if you actually refine it by EOS, then there's not a whole lot of activity here. Are they counting Wax as part of EOS? I don't know. But yeah, Splinterlands #1 again. It is fun to say that you have all this stuff. It's like, oh yeah, I'm #1 whale in the #1 app on blockchain. So that's fun. But yeah, I just found that tweet really interesting. Questions about the chart aside, just that basically Steam was just dropped off a cliff when Splinterlands moved over to Hive. It's fun. It's a little bit gratifying to see, I think, despite the fact that a lot of the Korean players are unhappy about the whole thing because of the external politics between Steam and Hive. Still, it's nice to see that the game works. Is #1 basically. I did get this this message from about Beta Burner. Let me paste this into chat. So, this is an update for the Beta Burner initiative, which is trying to burn betas. I'm still not entirely sure why they're trying to burn betas, but in fact, it says if you're not sure about this, read this article. So why burn beta cards? As the game progresses more and more, I feel like older editions are starting to become a little neglected by the power creep. And I originally thought that I'd burn alpha cards, but since alpha can be converted to beta, decided burning beta might benefit more investors. And the purpose of this experiment is purely to try to increase the value of alpha and beta cards. So, yeah, they are burning $47, 55,000 dark energy crystals worth, and that's I get making more valuable Biz, but just why? Because most of them are well above burn rates anyways. So yeah, it's just a curious thing. And they take the rewards from these posts, and they take donations and all that kind of stuff, and they turn around, they buy cards on the market, thus raising the price slightly, and then burning them, which then decreases supply to raise prices later on. So it's an interesting idea, and we got this little update. Let's see, compared to last time, let's see what their last post was. So the last post, they had 40,000 dark energy crystals burned and $35 worth of burning. So they progressed $12, which is okay, for 3 weeks of just very passive kind of thing. And speaking of making little amounts of money, people are complaining in Mavericks that beta can't be used in enough tournaments. Maybe this is protest. That's possible. And that is, I think that's a valid criticism. if you go to the tournament listings, and let's see, you can say Untamed, Alpha, Alpha Beta Promo. So that's J69's thing. We got all editions in Bronze Blunderbuss. We got Untamed, Alpha Only, Untamed. Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a minority of tournaments where you can use betas. So out of let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Out of 13 tournaments, you can use them in 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 out of 13. 4 out of 13 is a good bit less than half. So maybe that's just where we are in the cycle, and Agrid hasn't updated with more tournaments. That's possible. I'm not going to dig into it too much, but people who have a lot of money in Untamed. I mean, it's everybody. Everybody's the same. Everybody talks their book. So whatever benefits them the most is what they are complaining about, basically. And that's nothing unique to Splitterlands. It's nothing unique to crypto. It's nothing unique to anything. Just everybody does that, whether you're talking markets or not. Like when Scaredy Cat and I get on our Leo Finance roundtables, we're interested in the things that we're in. So that's what everybody does. So yeah, I'm looking at the upcoming tournaments here, and Crypto Reaper says play some piggies yesterday after getting a free one. Cool that they had the promotion, but the game is not for me. Good to know. I will check it out. I doubt it's another D City, but could be. So Beta Burner is continuing, and related to the whole making small amounts of money, which is the segue I was trying to make, was there was a new player in the deck markets. So I have a new account, and it's called Crystal King. Yeah, you need to factor in past, expired, whatever. Okay. And what it is if you guys saw the announcement, I think it was on Agrid's account, where he was talking about market making contracts. I set one up. So DSwap is coming, Pal Town Hall. Market Maker Smart Contract is live. This is the one. So that's the post that he made 5 days ago, and the stuff works. So I staked, what was it, 1200 or no? I staked 1200B to get my premium level, and I paid another 200B, so it's 1400 all in. And I put up a bunch of swap.hive, and I put up a bunch of dark energy crystals, and now I am buying and selling on the dark energy crystal market automatically. So, this is a market maker kind of, they call it a smart contract. I don't know if that's exactly right. It's a bot that works, and I paid those fees, in the B and everything to enable that functionality. So I guess it's a smart contract in the crypto sense, in that, I, put in crypto and I got out transactions. So that's true, but I guess it's not really what I think of when I think of the smart contract. But maybe that's my own technical limitation. Point is, it places, or attempts to place, a buy and a sell, at the interior of the market at all times, and maintaining, there's different parameters that you have to play with, and maintaining that spread. So when people buy dark energy crystals, I sell to them, and when people sell dark energy crystals, I buy from them. And it's just swap.hive and dark energy crystals going back and forth all day long. So I don't know how many transactions I've made today, because I'm not going to keep track at that level, but I started with 2,000 swap.hive, and I started with 1 million dark energy crystals. So right now I have, you can see on the screen, I've got 1984.08, plus inside the order I've got 200 Hive. So that's 2184 swapped out Hive. And I have 867, 447.56. Dark Energy Crystals plus whatever's locked up inside the order, which is 54,178.49. Okay, so I'm up 184 swapped out Hive, and I'm down 79,000, whatever that is. 921, 626. 78,374 Dark Energy Crystals. So at the current market price, what does that mean? So let's do Hive USD. I don't even know what Hive is trading at. Hive US dollar, Bitrix is 26.5 cents. All right. Times 184 minus 73.74 times whatever the price of deck is at the moment is 0.0062. It's black magic, yeah. So, yeah, I'm up 16 cents, which is not a lot, but it's only been running for 8 hours. So that's pretty fun. So let's assume that goes for 365 days. So now I'm at like a 18% annualized return, which is, not great, but not terrible. And for market making, it's just little transactions all the time. Which again, if you've watched the Leo Finance Roundtable, is kind of my trading methodology lately. I'm all about those base hits, just over and over and over again with high probability wins. So, the profits will fluctuate. If there's a run on the market, that's kind of an issue with this market making contract, and the there are updates coming. At least that's what I'm told by the devs. So right now it's just place an order, place a buy order, place a sell order. That's a little bit limiting and a little bit lacking sophistication for a market maker. To account for those runs, you need some volatility bands where as runs begin, you expand your book, or at least the spread of your book, so that you can absorb more of those runs rather than just selling out immediately. Counted in 18% profit. 2 weeks breaks. so yeah. So if it breaks in 2 weeks, that will lower my profit. That is certainly true. Hopefully that won't be too much of an issue. But software is a fickle beast, and Hive Engine does have a penchant for breaking. So that is something to keep an eye out for. What I'm more interested in, so deck is actually a pretty liquid market. If you look at the depth, you can see that there's a lot of orders on the buys and the sells. So and it actually looks better on the Leo decks. Gerber says, I think there's a break every 2 weeks for 2 weeks. So yeah, we'll see. For now, I'm cautiously optimistic, let's say. So for Dark Energy Crystals, because it's a liquid market already, there's lots of players, lots of accounts buying and selling frequently. It's not as much of an it's not a market in as much of a need of a market maker. It helps, anything to add liquidity, so that people who are selling cards can then turn around and have a buyer for their Dark Energy Crystals that they want to sell and to get into swapped out Hive. So that is attractive. Oh yeah, if you're not premium, then yeah, there's a built-in cooldown. Yeah, I barely even looked at that because I went to the premium. So yeah, that would be difficult. But what I'm actually a lot more interested in, assuming that this works out, is making a pair in swap.btc, because I think there's a lot. Well, I mean, if you look at the pair, where did it go? I'll just type it in. Swap dot BTC. There's not enough people placing orders or offering, and the spreads are just insane. So, that's a good candidate uh, for a uh, for a market maker, because the market maker fills the gaps, and then provides it enables that liquidity. Because when swap.btc or BTCP back on Steam Engine originally became a thing, I was actually pretty excited, because that means so I can get my rewards from a post, whether I cash out through Liquid or just or take my power downs or whatever, and then I can sell into BTC and then transfer off Steam Engine or off Hive Engine onto my Bitcoin wallet. I use Exodus primarily. So, so that is a lot more attractive to me. I think that's a service that the Hive community needs quite desperately. And Gerber's saying, make 1,000 Dark Energy Crystal NFT traded to swap BTC. Done. I'm not following that at all. The market maker doesn't work on NFTs, only on fungible tokens, by the way. So yeah, I don't. So you're the NFT master. I don't even know how you would make 1,000 Dark Energy Crystal NFT. But regardless, the you know the ability for people to cash out from Hive, which is what a lot of people do, I think would be pretty attractive. And for myself, I'd like to be able to change my Hive into Bitcoin without having to go through the whole, putting it to an exchange, hoping that the wallet is working and not down for maintenance, like Piggeryx has been quite a bit lately, and then trading for Bitcoin and then paying whatever fees there, and then taking those Bitcoin to my wallet. So I'd much rather do it on the DEX. I'd much rather do it with a little bit lowering fees. So the main problem with Hive Engine is the 1% in and out. With swap.hive, BSwap usually has pretty good liquidity these days, and then and then so you can get into Hive Engine for a quarter of a percent instead of 1%, and then or you could sell cards, also very simple. So there's lots of ways to get stuff onto Hive Engine, and then if there's a Bitcoin out, then that's a lot more attractive, for I think for everybody. So that's my next goal, to have I don't know, $1,000 on each side, something like that, of a market maker for Bitcoin. And I think we need to get a little bit better of strategy, for the smart contract bot. Just because the Bitcoin to Hive actually has a reference price that we can look up in the outside world, with exchanges and whatnot. So yeah, Gerber, I can't understand you and talk at the same time, so so I will have to get back to you on the NFT idea and how that pegging to Dark Energy Crystal works, because at the moment, no idea. Okay, so point is, it's cool. Things are happening. DeFi, the buzzword of the day is happening on Hive, which is pretty exciting. DeFi is one thing and DTalk is another. So Splinter Talk has finally made the move. Aggro finally got around to it, which is nice. And splintertalk.io. I actually haven't checked it since the migration, but this is the actual Nitrous instance, Splinter Talk, that is the tribe, what do you call it? Front end. And, it seems to actually be working now. So if you looked at Splinter Talk a week ago, it was all in Korean because it was all on Steam, and basically the only people left on Steam are the Koreans. And So now we have the actual players that we see in the leaderboards. We've got Splinter Lore, which is one of the team accounts. We got Clove 71. We've got the Splinterns have a post. Backpacking Monk, Kevin Lee, Mariana Amelia. She's actually really good. I've run into her a couple times and I've generally lost. So all those SBT tokens that you have are now usable on Hive, which is nice. We're getting everything consolidated from the migration onto Hive. Nice little update from the Ag Master. Other thing I wanted to hit on was the ABA. It wasn't as info-packed as last week from Agro, but the main thing is, new player experience is being worked on. Ooh, that's way too big. So we've got kind of like an overlay here. And let's reset that. You can see how, there's the game in the background, and then the overlay will come on, and you'll click through, and it'll take you through, winning a match or playing a match at any rate. So that's pretty exciting because, as we all know, users is the name of the game. So without users, we have nothing. So user growth is the priority. And then that's going to be on. Actually, was it down here? Yeah. So the roadmap that they published in the collection power update was nice. So we've got Asmarie Dice, August 2020. And it's probably going to end up being beginning of September, just knowing how these things go. Collection Power Phase 2, which we talked about beginning of September. And then Collection Power Phase 3, League Leaderboards, is, probably a month or 2 months after that. And, they're going to be submitting the mobile app to the Google Play and integrating EOS and Wombat Wallet, all that stuff, in another month or so. And we're getting in-game management. So in the next 2 months, a lot of updates, which I think will be good, and hopefully the new player experience here will be fine-tuned enough that they can turn on the marketing. So, new player experience, fixed, quote unquote fixed collection power leaderboards, and Google app. So those three elements, if those work, then theoretically the marketing machine can turn on. And, Agrid has talked about, he wants a positive ROAS, which is return on ad spend, or said another way, self-liquidating offers, so that, they get their money back from the ad, the money spent on ads, and then they can just, churn that over and over again. So, we could be, let's see, it's middle of August right now, so let's call it Christmas. That could be possibly, large influx of players, which would be fantastic. So, the game's doing well. Somebody asked a question about credits and whether anybody used them or not, and I said somebody or people collectively bought $5,000 worth of credits the other day. Market makers for deck are coming. That's right, they are, because they're here, starting today. Revenue's up. Games and accounts and everything tripled. So things are going, but we're on a 3x pace rather than a 20x pace. So we want to have that kind of quantum leap in user growth in order to support all these new cards like the Asmarie Dice and like the Untamed and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully that will work, and I think they'll pull it off. It's it's been slower than obviously anybody would like, but that's just kind of the way things go. So, at the end of the last show, I teased a little bit about how there is probably going to be a way to do some card staking, and we're not anywhere near releasing any information, but I just want people to know that there is a way that that is going to happen. So keep your ears out for that. And otherwise, let's just do a quick run through with the user stats. We got Hive data. .space. That's Rafalski's site. Always a good way to go. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's do just look at the year 2020, which has been quite a year. So battles are up. You know, we get the spikiness with the season ends. You know, I'm kind of curious to see how that will shift, if any, with the collection power, because depending on how it's implemented, you won't be able to go from, you know, some low rank up to champion one very quickly. But again, it depends on implementation and all that kind of stuff. Purchases. Let's just look at booster packs. You know, it gets kind of skewed a bit there. I believe that was the halfling promo, and people have been talking more about promos, which I like to see because, you know, I've said it several times now that I would love to see more less printed promo kind of cards. And you know, the team has talked about how they want to do like 4 promos a year, like a spring, a summer, a fall, and a winter kind of thing. And those promos might not be cards, but they might be just something, right? So just adding a little bit of uniqueness. Rainey was talking about how, you know, we've been around, you know, this will be the 3rd Christmas, I guess. And so if they had done one promo each time, you could have like a snowman and a Santa Claus and a reindeer or something. And that'd be fun, just to have a little bit of the uniqueness. And, you know, and if they're cards, they don't even have to be cards, but if they were, then obviously the more unique the decks are, then the more interesting and fun the game is. So, you know, with the lands, you know, we're going to get that second layer of spells and items. So hopefully that will work, and that will add to that complexity. But I think, you know, that's just that's one way to do it. But you know, having more types of cards and fewer accounts would kind of square that relationship. So, yeah, that's just my take. Obviously, more work for the team, which they have enough to do, but it is. I think it'd be good. So, as far as delegating goes, you know, this is where we are going to see those gold cards start popping up, because, you know, the rental is actually just a delegation function with a separate, you know, payment structure behind it. As far as I know, Peak Monsters is still the only ones that have rentals. Check Monster Market real quick. I don't use Monster Market very often, but we'll see. Confirm. Tools, cost estimator, market history, shop. Yeah, so I'm not seeing anything. Team share is cool. You know, that's basically well, no accounts are available right now, but it's basically what we're going to be having with Deck 404, where, you know, player plays and they split the rewards between the player and the owner. And yeah, I don't see any. Oh, here we go. It's not on the nav bar; it's on the icon. So yeah, no rental functionality here that I see, anyways. So, you know, we thought a little bit about making our own rental market. And we might do that for the golds that we have, like with Deck 101. Incidentally, Deck 101 is burning a ton of cards. So we are doing our part for raising the price of rewards cards by limiting supply. And, you know, ever since we had that rewards change, that, you know, the cards are actually cut down by, you know, 2/3. But even so, there are plenty of cards that are basically right at burn. Like Serpentine Mystic gets burned all the time. Gremlin Blaster gets burned all the time. Baby Unicorn gets burned all the time. So, you know, those numbers are dwindling as fast as we can make them. And if we look at Kyokiz's list here of the rewards cards, you can see that, like for Baby Unicorn, 65,922 BCX have been burned. And, you know, we've got to be a good part of that. I haven't done the math, but I've burned, I don't know, at least 10,000 BCX of baby unicorns. So, you know, even so, the yes, we're killing baby unicorns. That's right. That's what I said. Or we are burning the cards called baby unicorns. One of those two things. But yeah, they're getting just decimated, and so hopefully eventually, when they run out of their print, they're at 75% right now. When they hit their print limit, because it's an okay card. It's common, it has strengthen, which is nice, and it's got one other ability, I think. Let me see if we can find it here. But I've used it. I think it has a divine shield. Let's see. Just do all. There we go. So it's got swiftness and divine shield at the higher levels. So it's okay. But there's just too many of them, and it's like a niche card. So there's just not enough players to absorb it. So the price drops. And but once it gets out of print, once we have more players, and once we've burned all the ones we burned, then theoretically the price should rise. So, we'll see how that all works. But point is, Deck 101 is doing our part. So this is my plug. This is the end of the show plug where, if you have those cards and you're selling them for, anything less than 10% over the burn rate, then you might as well just send them to us because, after fees and after waiting and everything, you're better off just liquidating the card and getting the 1% bonus from Deck 101. And that's on top of the people who are really active in the markets, like Deck Market and Coronavirus. That they really go after those sniping opportunities where like the price of deck rises and people keep their price constant in U.S. dollars, so they're able to get them for below burn value, and they arbitrage those to us, and we're happy to do it. So. Just in general, if you are looking at selling cards, then you want to consider how much overburn am I getting, and after fees, because you got to remember, pretty much all the markets, you're taking 5%. So, just things to keep in mind. And we are about out of time here. It's 4:58, and coming up next, we got Scaredy Cat Guide. He has his Scaredy Cat Investor Show, where he talks about charts and crypto and stocks, and you throw him a ticker and he will put it on the screen to see what he sees. And then the key thing with Scaredy Cat is you gotta listen to what he says and not follow what he does. Right? That's just an inside little witticism there. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me, and we'll see you again next week. Same time, same channel.